The Knicks blew the doors off the Nets. Is it fixed? I hope so. Jonathan Kuminga, the Warriors, messy divorce coming. WNBA negotiations, kinda, and a lot more. This the box out coming at you right now.
The streets are talking. You are now listening to The Box Out with Kahlil Thomas and Jason Kahlil on the One Podcast Network. Let's get it.
Welcome to the box out from NJ to BCAN world. My name is Kahlil Thomas. Joining me in a few minutes will be Jason Kahlil from Brooklyn, New York. Thank you so much for watching. Whether it be live right now on YouTube, watching the replay, another day. Thank you. Thank you for participating in our little podcast here. And a lot to get to. Our opening tip tonight is going to be the Knicks. There's a lot to say. And let's start here. Before last night's game with the Nets, there were a lot of questions about the Knicks. What's going on? 2-9 over 11 games. Things were not working. Jalen Brunson called a team players only meeting the other day. There's a lot of shit going on in the Garden. And as a Knicks fan, we don't know who to blame when it comes to things like this because it's easy to blame the coaches. It's easy to blame the star. Growing up, if the Knicks had a bad game or a bad stretch, all the blame went to Patrick Ewing, right? No one looked at Pat Riley or Jeff Van Gundy. Everyone looked at what's the problem with Patrick. Patrick's not leading, not doing what he has to do. I think in this situation with the Knicks, you have to look at, okay, new coach, new system. We already know that Karl-Anthony Towns was unhappy early in the season. It's carried through because Cat's always unhappy. No blame's been put on Brunson. Brunson still goes out, plays his ass off, gets you what he does what he does. But if you look at it, I guess from a 10,000 feet perspective, Brunson missed some games. Josh Hart missed some games. OG missed some games. So you're talking about a rotation that was kind of in flux. One thing a friend of mine said today, and he made a good point about the Knicks, was, is it a case of that they have too much? And where Tibbs didn't play enough people, Mike Brown is kind of overcompensating and playing too much. Think about it this way. It was Deuce, Jordan Clarkson, Yabusele. Going into the season, those are going to be probably your top three reserves coming off the bench, depending if Mitchell Robinson came off the bench. But really, it was McBride, it was Clarkson, Yabusele. Those would be your three main, huge bench cogs coming off the bench. As the season went on, through injuries, whatever, Tyler Kolek stepped up. Mohamed Awer stepped up. Yabusele, Clarkson, not really playing the best basketball. Has not all year. Let's be honest. All year has not been good for either one of those guys. So you look at that. Now Landry Shamet's back, right? You got to get Shamet some time. So who's going to sit down? Clarkson's kind of buried at the bench right now. Yabusele plays sparingly, but he still kind of still in the rotation. So it could be a case where it's an embarrassment of riches. The Knicks just happen to have a deep roster. But you can't play 12 guys every single game. Who do you play on a weekly basis? That's a very good question. And I think Mike Brown's trying to figure that out. Who's going to be your 9? When we get to playoff time, you're going to play 9 guys, probably 10. I would assume you play 10. I always assume you want a starting 5 and a backup 5 for that 10. Well, let's say 9. Besides your starting 5, you got Deuce. Does Josh Hart start, come off the bench? We don't really know. We got to figure that one out. Are we going to see Jordan Clarkson and Yabusele step up? Don't know. We have not seen Jordan Clarkson's best basketball yet. We have not seen Yabusele's best basketball yet. So based on that, you don't know what you're going to get from this team. And I think that's going to be an important thing for all of the rest of the season. Mike Brown finding his guys and going, okay, these are the 10 or 11 in the regular season that I'm going to go with. And of those 11, 1 or 2 are going to drop off. And we're going to have a solidified 9 to 10 man rotation for the playoffs. I think you had all these guys playing and moving pieces and rotational pieces, blah, 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 and became a shit show. And that's how you get a disastrous West Coast trip. That's how you get a 2-9 record over 11 games. So last night, they had the honor of playing the Brooklyn Nets, which came at the best possible time for the Knicks because Brooklyn sucks. I'd say it, Brooklyn stinks. And they showed how much they sucked when they lost 120-66 to the Knicks, a 54-point win, a record blowout win for the Knicks. And, you know, we talk about get right games a lot, right? Get right games is the big phrase. This is your get right game. This is the game after a players only meeting where, according to sources, guys let it fly. Guys aired it out and said, we got problems. We got to fix this, blah, blah, blah. The best thing after a meeting like that is to take on a crappy team. And there's no team crappier right now than the Brooklyn Nets. Let's be honest. Brooklyn's that perfect get right opponent at home, in front of a crowd, thirsty for a win, wanting a win, needing a win. And they got that big win against, hey, hi, Dad. How you doing? Against the Nets last night. And listen, no crazy numbers, 20 points for Brunson, 14 for Cat, 11 for Josh Hart, 11 for Mikal Bridges, 14 off the bench for Deuce McBride. So there wasn't crazy numbers. Not, you know, at a certain point, when they were down by 18, or, you know, the Nets made a little run, made it 14. Mike Brown called timeout, league went back up again. So I wasn't expecting to see the guys in there for 40 minutes last night. However, we talk about get right games. Jalen Brunson played 30 minutes last night. That's it. And he sat and watched and laughed and joked, and now that's fine. The question now is, where do you go from here? Right? You had Brooklyn. You had Lafford. You blew them out. Maybe you fixed some things up. What happens now going forward? As I bring in Jason Corder from Brooklyn, New York. Jay, what's going on, man?
Not much, man. How's everything?
Good. Talking about the Nets and the Knicks. That great game last night. We talked about the team meeting called by Brunson. Well, not the team meeting, the player meeting.
Mm-hmm.
How do you think a game like that last night, like it is against the Nets, was probably what they needed right now in the middle of a 2-9 stretch?
I think so. It was definitely a get right game. Everyone, you know, I'm sure Brunson aired his grievances, and everybody felt like, you know, because they were losing to teams I felt like they were better than. So it was definitely a good, you know, hey, let's beat on little brother, get our minds right. They don't play Philly after a back-to-back. I feel like all 3 games they played Philly already has been back-to-back. So they have a couple of days after this get back game to deal with Philly on Saturday. So I think it's a step in the right direction. I don't know if it's if they're gonna carry the momentum off in Philly, but if they beat Philadelphia, then I would say the Knicks are back on track.
Yeah, they play Philly on Saturday. That's a nationally televised game at ABC. Then they host the Kings on Tuesday, the Raptors on Wednesday, another back-to-back. They go to Toronto for that game, and they come back home to the Trailblazers. These 4 games, and it's weird to say this in January, these 4 games are crucial.
Yep.
Right? You had this game against Brooklyn. You got that off. Cool. You beat Philly. You should beat the Kings, although we said that last week, and they lost to the Kings.
Right. You
should, I don't want to say beat the Raptors, because the Raptors are 27-19 and not actually bad looking. So I don't know.
But still, now you gotta, because now the conference thinks you're soft, so now you gotta inflict some damage to the conference.
Which the soft thing.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm waiting for Bruce to pop in and say something about Cat being a kitty cat, but whatever.
Woo.
Can they get that stench off of them of being soft? You had Mitchell Robinson, you got Josh Hart, but it seems like Cat just brings that toughness down.
That's the problem. I think everyone else can get the stench off. It's Cat that's bringing him down. Because, like, we complained about Randall and how he had his mood swings now and then. Cat's like 20 times worse. And that's very problematic. And you don't have Tibbs to be like, hey, you know, who could probably not say instill some toughness in him, but at least, you know, like, hey, get on him like that. I don't know if Mike Brown's the guy to get on him like that.
But you know who is? Rick Brunson.
Oh,
get Rick Brunson in and digging his ass a little bit. As someone calls me during my show. Rick Brunson digging that ass. And I think that needs to happen. I think Rick Brunson needs to punch him in the chest and push him like, yo, what's your deal? What's going on? I don't know what's going to happen now. The question that becomes, though, trade deadline is in about 2 weeks.
Mm-hmm.
Giannis went off last night. Are we looking at a possibility where the Knicks are like, you know what? Maybe we're not that close right now with this roster, as close as we thought we were. Do they take that plunge and try to get Giannis?
I think you have to. I think you have to pick up the phone and be like, hey, your biggest disgruntled, our biggest disgruntled. Let's make something happen. We'll give you Towns. We'll give you Mikal, a pick swap, and we'll even give you some cash under the table. Let's make this happen. Because I think Giannis is another bad game away from having a Tupac moment where he goes off on everybody. And at that point, you have to move. You see it festering, it's bubbling up. He's about to have a hit him up moment. I don't know when it's going to happen, but it's going to happen.
You know, I feel like last night was his Jay-Z got yourself a gun moment.
Okay.
He's not at his ether moment yet. He's not
it's
at
coming.
Ether yet.
It's coming.
It's coming. I can see one 30-point loss. And actually, flip that. I jumped ahead. I think this was the takeover moment.
Okay.
I think
subliminal, but
the
not
next
so
one.
subliminal.
The next one, we'll see Ether, and he's going to go off. And then hopefully we don't see the gotcha gun where he just kind of backs off and says, all right, you know, Trump always chickens out moment and goes, Taco. I didn't mean all that, what I said. I like Milwaukee. But I think we're getting there because he sees a team not really working. And the argument is always going to be, hey, we gave Giannis what he wants, right? We gave him Dame Lillard. You know, he had Chris Middleton, he had Brook Lopez. We brought in Miles Turner. But the other ancillary pieces for them aren't working. My concern with the Knicks trading for him is, and you mentioned Bridges. I feel like Bridges is almost untouchable because of what they gave up to get him.
Except for Giannis. He's touchable for that.
I feel like giving up the draft capital that they did, you can't let Bridges go, knowing that we literally mortgaged 5 years of draft picks, first-round draft picks for him. I almost feel like Brunson and Bridges are Bridges, Brunson, Hart are your three untouchables. The Villanova crew.
So you're cool with OG.
I'm cool with OG. I think OG will get you the most trade value right now.
I kind of agree with that.
I think if you put OG in the trade and say, we'll give you Cat, we'll give you OG, and we'll give you a first-round pick, we want Giannis, and we need someone else. It can't just be a 3-4-1 or a 4-4-1 or a 3 pick.
Can they offer the Washington pick?
They could. I don't think they'll take – I mean, they probably should because they have their own and they have Washington's pick, correct?
Yep.
I would give them Washington's pick because that pick's going to be a lottery pick, but I'm not sure if it's protected, though.
I think it's top 8 protected.
So if it's top 8, top 10 protected, I'm not sure that pick's even worth anything.
Right.
So, and even the Knicks pick isn't going to be worth anything because they're going to be
in the 20s.
In the 20s. So you might have to trade a first and a second or two for some combination of that to get them. But to get Giannis, another question: why would you trade OG? You have Giannis. You got to trade somebody.
If you have Giannis and Mitchell, you really don't need OG.
Because my thing was, and we're going to talk about this later about Jonathan Kuminga. I'm in my head like, does Kuminga work with us? And what would the Warriors take? 'Cause I think that's the
they ain't
big
taking
question.
Cat because Draymond will punk him and it'll be bad.
Draymond will punch him in the mouth again like he did Jordan Poole. But where does Kuminga fit? I feel like if you go after Kuminga, you might not have to give up OG. Because I feel like they're at a point where Golden State, I'm not going to say they're desperate because Jimmy Butler's down with the ACL. They need a body.
Clarkson?
They got to play him. Maybe
Clarkson?
you could switch out no, Cat's not a possibility, but maybe I'm gonna bring the roster up again. So I'm kind of maybe you could say we'll give you if like OG would have to be the catalyst for any type of trade. I think if like to get anybody, OG would have to be that guy. I think that's kind of the sticking point for me now. I'm like, would you trade OG for Jonathan Kuminga? No. Would you trade OG for Giannis? Yes.
Yeah,
right.
Absolutely. I'm only trading OG. I'm only dangling OG for a all-star caliber player, and Kuminga is a fringe all-star caliber player.
So, how would you feel about a trade? And obviously, we're not talking about the money because obviously the money's got to match up. We're not doing the Bobby Marks type shit here. Cat, OG, and whoever first round, ours, Washington's, our future first, whatever, for Giannis. And how would you feel about replacing Cat with a Bobby Portis?
I like that
because that gets you that size.
Give you that size.
He can shoot the three, but also Bobby wants to bang down low. Anyway.
He wants to bang.
He wants to go down. So I think that would be the thing. You'll have to be Cat OG combination with a pick, and obviously the money with the match. So Giannis and or Bobby Portis, I think he's an unrestricted free agent, and or it has to be a Kyle Kuzma, who I'm not sure I want at all, but that might be.
You take Kuzma over Clarkson, or you rather Clarkson, who's out of the rotation right now?
I mean, I feel like Clarkson would have to be part of it because where are you playing Jordan Clarkson right now? I think that's the issue. I feel like I told about at the beginning of the show, it's kind of an embarrassment of riches because I think Mike is having an issue playing all these guys because all these guys have shown they can handle it, like Deuce, Kolek, and Clarkson's not playing 9 points a game. That's not Jordan Clarkson. That's not what we signed. So you almost have to look at, we have a good guard who isn't getting 30 minutes a game like he did in Utah.
Right.
Who can probably come to Milwaukee, light it up for you. You can play him 35 minutes, he'll give you 28 points on 35 shot attempts.
He will be your Jordan Poole in Milwaukee.
Yeah, perfect example. You would have to disassemble. You don't have to disassemble the team. You're keeping Brunson, you're keeping Hart, you're keeping Bridges.
You're keeping your Nova Knicks. You
add a Giannis, you add a Kuzma or a Portis. You still have Mitch. You still have Deuce. You still have Clarkson if he's not included. It's not really assembling the team. It's making it better, but it's chess. You got to move some pieces around.
Yeah, move some pieces. Yeah.
So that's how I'm looking at it. I think we're jumping ahead. I don't think we're at that panic stage where we have to make a move. But if this weekend and next week becomes a repeat of the last 2 weeks, I think we have to seriously look at, okay, what do we have and what do we have to do?
And it all comes down. So we both agreed that Cat has to go.
So the report
for the long-term success of the team,
for the long-term psyche of the team, forget success, for the psyche. Ramona Shelburne reported that when the Knicks played Golden State, obviously we know Draymond, Cat don't like each other. Felt a certain way about Mike Brown dapping up Draymond and Steph after the game, which pissed me off. So I'm like, really? Is this what we're doing? If we're really gonna be butthurt because your coach who won 3 rings with these guys are dapping them up and hugging them because he has a previous relationship with them? I'm like, that's some bitch shit from Cat. We're still on this. This is where we got to seriously start thinking like, hey, Cat might be the one. Cat's bringing us down. We got to move him out.
This was the gamble. This is the gamble we knew. We didn't expect it to rear its ugly head now, but this is the gamble. When they made that trade, it was like, damn, Cat has a lot of bitch asses in him. We just didn't think we'd see it so soon.
Did you hear what Carmelo said about Cat the other night?
He said something. I didn't really hear it all. Remember, he did say something crazy.
It was on. I think it was on the NBC pregame. I think he's on NBC One. It was homecoming night at the Garden last week, or this week. I think it was right after the West Coast trip. So all the old Knicks were there. They were getting smoked. Carmelo yelled out, "It's over!" And Cat on the floor is like, "Yeah, I hear you, OG." I'm like, yeah, during the game, you hear that shit? Like, should you be focused on the game and not what's going on in row 3 with the old heads? That right there, once again, showed me he's weak, and I don't want that.
I mean, the big bodega, man. I got no words for him.
It's
at this point, he's a bargaining chip to try to get Giannis, man. We gotta pull that trigger on that deal, man.
Yeah, it's a lot to deal with right now. I'm done talking about Cat because you get me angry. Last night on Bruce's show, Bruce on the Armchair Wednesday nights 8 p.m. He talked about how Steve Kerr is doing Jonathan Kuminga dirty, DMPing him for all those times, and then finally playing him the other night because he kind of had to because Jimmy Butler tore his ACL. Yeah. What should they do with Kuminga at this point?
They got to move him. Where are you going to move him? I don't know. To me, the timing of Jimmy's injury made all this worse because you could probably drag your feet about moving Kuminga before, but now it's like not only do you got to make this trade, but you kind of got to re-up and get another offensive player to pair with Steph, or it's going to be a lost year. So I think they definitely got to make a trade to some value for him. It just can't be a Trae Young trade. It's got to be something where it's like you get some value back.
Yeah, I'm not sure they might be looking at the value part. First of all, I don't think it's a big deal of all this. I know Bruce went off about it last night.
Yeah, I don't think it's a big deal. I think it's a big deal more in terms the Butler got hurt. Now you're down 2 bodies.
Yeah, I don't think Kerr. I'll give you my thought and tell me if you agree. Mm-hmm. I think Kuminga came in talking like he's the next generation. He's going to be running that team sooner than later. And he kind of came in with that. Oh, yeah. Oh, you got Curry, you got Dre, you got, we got Clay. They're going to be out, and it's going to be us, me, Moses Moody, Weissman when he was still kind of there. We're the future of this team. And right. I felt like Kerr was like, show some respect. Like, you're a youngin'. Wait your turn.
I believe that.
Sit under the learning tree and just learn. And Kuminga didn't want to hear that shit. And I think that's where it kind of started fraying from his rookie season. So
I 100% believe that.
Yeah, so I don't think it's this thing of like, oh, Kerr's not playing him because he doesn't like him. I think he came in disrespectful. Kerr checked him. Kerr didn't, and Kuminga didn't like it. So now they've been at each other's throats this whole time. And I think the negotiation for his contract, where he wanted a max, they're like, absolutely not. That played a role in this too. So I think that's kind of where this all kind of started when he first came to the league.
Unfortunately, I agree. But now we know. I feel like this is what happens when you have a veteran team and you're just not letting the young guys get their shine, where they feel like they're being held back, and now he wants to go somewhere and show his worth. And there's nothing wrong with that. It's about how you go about doing it.
Well, I think the problem now is if you're Golden State, are you in a rush to get rid of him because you kind of need him? Or do you say, hey, we might need to sell him, 50
while
cents
he has some value,
to move him out and just to end it? Like, do the Warriors wait for their best possible value, or to say, what's the best offer we got right now that we can get rid of him today, right now, and end all this bullshit? If you're the GM, if you were Mike Dunleavy Jr., are you looking for the best value, or are you looking for like, okay, this is what we can get, okay, just get it done?
No, you gotta get the best value.
Even if it takes you up to the trade deadline.
Yep.
Damn. See, I'm of the mind. I'm like, listen, I don't need that shit in my locker room. Give me a pack of Newports and some backwoods, and we'll call it a day. Because we can't have this shit here. That's where I'm at with him. And like with any disgruntled player, if any disgruntled player, why would you want him around your team.
Yeah.
He's just going to drag it down. That's my concern with Kuminga.
It's all Draymond's fault anyway.
Listen, if Draymond didn't hit Jordan Poole, we wouldn't be in a situation. It's like the butterfly effect. If this shit didn't happen, this shit wouldn't happen, and we would be in a situation. So Draymond's to blame for all this shit. It's all his fault. I totally agree with you. Blame Draymond, who continues to get teased and ejected. I don't understand how you're like 38 years old and you still argue with refs at this point.
I don't even know if this is a hot take, but I don't think the Warriors are going to make the play-in game.
Damn, that's a hot take. So I was like, I think they could get 6. I think they could hold it down and get to the 6th spot and avoid the play-in.
I don't know, man. I mean, even Portland's looking a little bit better without, Chauncey there as their head coach.
I mean, let's be honest. Chauncey's not coming back at this point. Chauncey's done forever and ever. I think, even if he's cleared of all charges, Chauncey Billups has no job when he comes back. It's just a done deal.
Yeah, it's over.
Right now, Golden State sits in 8th place in the West, 25-20. They are 2.5 back of Phoenix for the 6th spot. Phoenix is playing really well. Beat the Knicks on a road trip.
And the Nets.
Yep. OKC, San Antonio, Denver, Houston, the Lakers, and Phoenix round out your top 6. A lot to talk about with LA real quick. There's a story on ESPN talking about how Jeannie Buss pretty much undercut her whole family to sell the team, and how LeBron's kind of persona non grata, and it's been that way for a couple of years. My question to you, Mr. Cordner, how bad is this breakup going to be when LeBron leaves LA?
Oh, it's going to be beautiful to watch. But it's going to be beautiful to watch. It's going to be long overdue. I mean, we kind of knew. I mean, when he got there, we kind of felt like it was A-Rod to the Yankee situation. And Jeannie needed a splash. The whole her undercutting the family, I believe that 1,000%. That seemed to be her style. And when LeBron got there, certain things had to go his way, or he would have went somewhere else. So this is like, speaking of LA, it's like the Dodgers. They're buying everything, and they acting like a bill ain't due. This is the Lakers, the bill is due. You got your bubble championship with him. You sold the team, and now all these stuff's gonna get out because it doesn't really look that bad on the Buss side, or on the Buss family side. But this is what the business you did when you knew Kobe was coming towards the end of his career. You didn't really have a plan, and then somehow LeBron was like, "Hey, he wants to be, he wants to be in the Hollywood and be in entertainment." So he just went with you guys because the Clippers didn't have their shit together, basically.
Still don't, but
still don't. Right.
But you're right. I feel like you kind of didn't build for the future. You let Kobe kind of do what he wanted those last 2-3 years.
Mm-hmm.
Gave him big deals every year. Gave him those 2-year deals, knowing that he ain't really worth nothing, but it's Kobe.
Right.
Without saying, okay, Kobe, we're not going to be good. We have to start bringing people in. We got to kind of start drafting. We got to start playing some younger guys. You're still part of this, but we have to start thinking about the after Kobe. And I feel like Kobe didn't want to hear that and said, okay. And this is what happened. I think LeBron, and I think we talked about this before, I think LeBron knows the team is gone, right? It is no longer his team. It belongs to Luka Doncic.
Yeah. Luka's the get out of jail card.
Yeah, and I think he's salty. I think deep down, LeBron is salty that it's not his team anymore. He's holding that against him. He's also old as fuck. Like, let's be honest. LeBron, I think my dad said this the other day. It was funny. LeBron plays hard about 5 minutes.
And
then for the next 4, it's like watching Bill Cartwright circa 1992. It's like it's
starting to look like Shaq and the Celtics. It's starting to look that way out there.
It's like you look slower. Like, yeah, you still have those bursts because that's just that's adrenaline. But you're not LeBron. You're 70% LeBron. And I think for someone like him at 70,
I'll go 60.
Damn, I'll try to get benefit of the doubt, but I'll go with 62. I think 60% LeBron in a league where guys aren't playing 100% is better than most.
Right.
But he still thinks he's prime LeBron. And I think he has
Do you think he still gets an All-Star reserve nominee?
Oh, definitely. He's still going to be there. But the fact that he wasn't a starter definitely kind of showed like, okay, it's starting to change now. Like the landscape is changing officially now. The NBA don't want to hear that shit, but you're starting to see it now, where they're like, we want to see the Lucas, we want to see the SGAs, we want to see more Nikola Jokic's, we want to see Giannis still. It's changing around him now. You want to see Johnson from Atlanta. They don't want to see LeBron. Curry got in. Curry got his starting bid, but Curry's winding down, which is why I think Curry's going to leave with Curry. I think they probably planned out like when Curry's done, 100%. Curry's done. So I think LeBron sees the writing on the wall. His comment, I think Kerr's holding him back about Kuminga to concede to Curry. I think he and his teammates have said how he's been really patient and a good teammate. He's young, and I think Kerr is tired of losing. Yeah,
I can see that too.
He's tired of losing, but he also knows he lost Jimmy Butler and needs another small forward. And he had one at the end of the bench pouting, so he has to play him. That's where we are. I don't think Kerr's tired of losing. I think Kerr's like, shit.
You know where Kuminga's going though. You know what? This all points to one team.
Oh God, what?
He's going to Brooklyn.
Yeah, I can see that. Big money deal. And what? Here's the issue with Brooklyn. I'm glad you mentioned that because I've been hearing about Michael Porter Jr. being traded. So Michael Porter Jr. is like your only player besides what's his name? The dude from BYU who's got drafted there. Denham?
Yeah, Denham, okay.
But Michael Porter Jr. is your star right now. 25 a game. He's like 25, 6, and 6 essentially is his numbers every game. And Brooklyn's trying to trade him. I'm like, why? So you have one player worth of shit on your team, and you want to move him?
Because they're trying to get into the bottom 4 and try to, get into the allegedly franchise players in this upcoming draft.
But I look. This is the time you start paying attention to college basketball.
Oh yeah, 100%.
Is their number one pick right now? I'm not. The Boozer twin is not a number one pick. I'm sorry. I know they keep hyping that up. That's the ESPN creation. There's not one player in college right now who I'm like, that's your above board standard number one pick. I don't see it. So
I don't see that. I agree. I think the Nets should just you haven't grown up in Michael Porter, build out around that, and
And you just drafted 5 guys. Like, you don't need any more youth. You got your youth last year. You used all your draft picks.
Develop them.
So why are you trying to tank to go into a draft where you don't have a consensus 1, a number, consensus 2, a consensus 3? You don't know what you're going to get. And I'm sorry, the ACC, besides Duke, besides Clemson, North Carolina is just starting to play well. Yeah. But they kind of suck. But I also feel like it has to do with the schedule and, these ACC teams going to the West Coast to play Cal and, that whole shit.
Mm-hmm.
But the ACC, if you look at the Big Ten, the ACC is not exactly a strong conference this year. So I'm like, how good is Boozer? Because non-conference, he was killing it. But when Duke's facing Colgate, yeah, you and I would kill it against Colgate.
Right.
So that's my sidebar for today. Next topic, WNBA negotiation update. There is no update. They agreed to a moratorium. The deadline came and gone.
Mm-hmm.
We still don't have an agreement. Unrivaled.
We do have a schedule. We have a schedule. No agreement. Where are we at? What do you think's going to happen? Because I feel like since they announced the moratorium, I haven't heard anything about anything. It's been quiet. Where do you think we are? Another cold spring before anything gets resolved.
Well, the season is supposed to start May 8th.
I don't see it.
I don't see it either. I think we're looking at like a July start.
July, yeah.
At this point, I feel like no one's budging. I feel like the players are like, we want the bigger piece of the revenue pie. The owner's like, hell no. We already don't have a big piece. We don't need you to come and take more of our pieces. Baseball's kind of going to have this example in December. I think baseball's going to have a lockout after this season's over because they're kind of facing the same problems with money and salary caps and floors. But concerning WNBA, who do you think would bend first? Because I think the players seem real dug in. And for them, with Unrivaled, with this Project B, with overseas games, well, don't do overseas anymore after the Brittany Griner thing, but that's an option. The players kind of have options where if there is no season, I'll go play in Ukraine.
Yeah.
Do the players bend first, or do the owners go, hey, we can't miss a season. We're just starting to make some money here. We can't stop this.
I think the players bend first, because I think eventually the owners are going to open up the books. They're going to show them everything and be like, hey, listen, I don't know what to tell you guys. We don't have it. You guys think we have it. We don't. So I think the players in the 11th hour in May or maybe June be like, hey, listen, we need to make some kind of money here. We'll bend a little bit. We just hope that you guys can reach us halfway. Maybe it's not a full total agreement. Maybe we're looking at like a, like, how much percentage they wanted? They wanted 15.
They wanted 15% of the.
Maybe they might get 8.
So what was the number at? What was the number at? The numbers at 3%, I think.
Right.
They wanted to jump to 15.
Right.
I think a few weeks ago we said the in between would be like 8 or 9. Right. So 8
maybe they might be.
Yeah, I'm just curious about how. I'm just curious on
maybe 6.
I think 6. They won't even come to the table if they offer 6.
Really? Okay.
I thought it would have to be upwards of 8 or more.
Would have to be 8 or better.
But the owners are also offering more money in salary. So shouldn't that play a role in this too? Where they're like, we can't give you the revenue share. Now, if we hit these markers, yes, we'll give you more, because that means more money's coming in. But they're offering more salary money. Shouldn't they take that more into consideration, or are they just really all about that share?
They definitely should. They should also take consideration that after the tournament might be the best time to really come back and negotiate.
Yeah, I mean, I thought at the tournament, that's when you like announce a deal the night of the draft. Like, we're having a draft right after. We got a deal. Let's get started. Because you still have an expansion draft you got to have that you can't have yet. Like, there's a lot of shit they have to do to have a season, and the expansion draft was supposed to be December. Now we're looking at February possible. I feel like
it sounds like it's gonna be March. It sounds like it's gonna be the day after a national champion's crowned.
It is nuts how we're in this spot where, and once again, you see what, as I'm rocking my baseball thing, baseball's having the same issue. I feel like every sport except like football, for some reason, football and maybe the NBA, they start negotiating real early.
Yeah,
like, they start negotiations like 2 years out.
They know,
and go, okay, it expires 2 years. Let's start figuring out what the hell we want, and let's start the arguing now and iron it out. Baseball, the CBA expires in December. They're just going to meet in March. The NFL is pretty early. NBA is early. The NBA's dropped the ball. The NHL might be the most stable labor-wise in sports, which is crazy to say considering they lost a whole season like 8 years ago. So I don't know. So I'm hoping there's no work stoppage, but it's starting to look more and more like there will be, and it sucks.
Listen, we knew this was going to happen. I just thought cooler heads would have prevailed months ago.
They didn't.
And that's not happening.
Not happening. So I want to talk about a topic that Bruce talked about last night that, it's kind of near and dear to us because we're both sports reporters, cover different events. I was at Prudential on Monday for the Coretta Scott King Classic. I was at Harbaugh's press conference on Tuesday.
Oh, really? Nice.
I got that invite. I was like, oh shit. Real big cornball, kind of a cornball. The whole thing, like football. You got like football. But we had a reporter in Jacksonville after the Jaguars got eliminated, pretty much give Liam Cohen a pep talk in the middle of the press conference, which started a firestorm of people saying that's not real reporting and blah, 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 and going back and forth and show heart, don't show heart, and da-da-da. as someone who you travel big events all the time, you're constantly like jet setting. How did you feel about? I'm gonna give the names. I forgot. Remember, I gotta look it up. Right, you talk. How did you feel when you saw that and reaction to that event in Jacksonville?
I was shocked that she was fanning out like that. I don't think it was warranted. I don't think that was she used the opportunity to do that. I get it, but I thought it was I thought it was good in terms of motivation. But if you're going out there as a reporter, I thought that was a little tasteless, just a little bit. Because I feel like that's not something we're supposed to be biased when we go there in general. And I feel like that was just fanning out.
So the reporter's name, Lynn Jones. She works for the Jacksonville Free Press, one of 230 African American newspapers in the country. So she's legit. Like she I think she's on an interview on the TV station, and she pretty much laid out her resume, and the resume was like, she ain't no joke.
Okay.
You're right. Right. When we go to cover games, we're there to, especially those press conferences. Like, as much as I might not like John Calipari, I'm gonna show him respect.
Perfect example.
Even though he no-showed a post game when they played in Jersey a couple weeks ago, I'm just gonna put that out there. He just went home. But the idea is to be respectful. But I'm always of the mind, I think this made me kind of look at it and go, okay, there was nothing else to say, right? I think Cohen kind of said, we lost the game. This is what happened. We're going to do better next year, blah, 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 blah. And there's only so many questions you can ask a losing coach after losing a game. Now, Jacksonville Free Press is an accredited newspaper. You get credentialed. Yes. Did she go a little overboard in like giving a pep talk? He seemed very like thankful for it. Like kind of unexpected, like, oh shit, okay, cool. Yeah. Thank yes, ma'am. But I also didn't feel anything about it. I felt like, okay, like, yeah, like give him some dap.
Because the image of the media is always to be non-biased and always be subjective.
Oh, I think Jason froze. Be subjective was what he was finishing to say. No, I think I don't see anything wrong. Let me see who's back. Oh, you back?
Yeah.
He came back. You froze like subject. Like,
oh, they come. They come.
Yeah. What were we saying?
But imagine us. As long as we've been doing the podcast and the Knicks has been bad, it's only now they've gotten better, even though it's tedious time right now. But imagine that first year when they made it back to the playoffs and we were in the locker room. I don't think neither one of us would have used that opportunity to be like, hey, that especially losing to the Hawks that year. That Trae Young, man, we're happy you guys are back. You guys are back from relevancy. You get them next year. We wouldn't have done that.
No, we wouldn't have. But I also feel like it's the place, right?
I'll say this though: she knew what she was doing. She knew that was going to go viral.
Oh no, yeah. Listen, Jacksonville Free Press got some more subscribers than they got before. I definitely felt like it was. Plus, I think on the press room on the Ringer, oh my God. The brother who hosted, I can't remember his name. I won't blank. Joel Anderson.
Okay.
He said this was what a lot of reporters do. They sweeten their rapport with the coaches and the front office staff because they want that access. So yeah, she's probably being heartfelt, but also like, let me say something nice to them because it might help me out later with the team.
Right.
So I don't see anything wrong with it. Listen, Jacksonville's a small place, right? Everybody know each other. I heard it's kind of MAGA. I'm just putting it out there because I don't really know.
I mean, I'm sure she's AEW for life.
Oh my God, definitely. Her and Tony Khan speed dial all day. But I didn't see the big deal with it, and the uproar from the reporters and these uppity like, oh, I would never do that. You're tired. Like, fuck out of here. No, we don't care. Like, it's okay to show emotion. I put here last night, and I'm used tonight. Can sports reporters have a heart? We can.
It's just we're not used to people with hearts being covered a lot. That's all it is.
No, I'm used to these old I'm gonna say these old grizzled white guys who are just like, hey, coach, why'd you go for it on 4th and 3? And like, okay,
I love
tell
when
you
I
some
see
bullshit
the old
answer.
grizzly white guys in the press room, especially talking about, oh man, I gotta hurry up and catch this train. I gotta take this train to Grand Central, take another train to go back to take the Metro North.
I gotta go up to Stanford back home. I gotta take the train. The game's in overtime. I gotta get out of here. I'm like, don't come to goddamn game day. You notice it. You know the Jimmy V Classic goes late.
Yep.
You know the MTA gets a little dicey at 11:30 at night. Stay your ass home and do it remote if you need to. Come on. You're right. You're right. It's those guys when I go to those games that annoy me because they're the ones in the press rooms before the game just bitching about everything. Bitching about food. I have a guy, I'm not gonna name his name, at every Newark game or Prudential I go to. He's either complaining about this, he's complaining about that. The guy at Prudential asked me to cover a Sirens game, and I'm like, yeah, I'll come back to it. They have no hospitality. They don't feed us. I'm like, go get a pretzel. If they don't feed me for one game a year, one event, I'm good. They feed us chicken fingers and fries. You know what? I'm good with that. If I gotta pay for my own chicken fingers and fries
give
one
me
time
coffee,
a year,
give me water, I'm good.
I'm good. But these old guys are just angry all the time and just real entitled. I think that's the word I'm looking for.
Entitled.
Really entitled. And we have young guys like us who are just like our foot's in the door, but not completely in the door.
Exactly.
So we're appreciated to be there.
Mm-hmm.
We do our best. A guy, Woods, I don't know if John Armwoods. I think we used to work with him at Double G and
yes,
young dude. I see him all the time, dap him up, we talk.
Yeah. He's doing his thing now. I see him a lot. I see his coverage a lot. Yeah.
That dude out here hustling and grinding, and he's really appreciative and always like, you good? Yeah, what advice you have for me? That guy right there is what the future is. But then is that countered by those old guys who just sit and bitch and moan and then look at us like we're crazy because we're there because not a lot of us there.
Right, exactly.
So I didn't feel a certain way about it. I know everybody else did, but I think it was cool. I think it was a cool moment. She got her little 15 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
Cohen felt awesome about it. Definitely made his day.
And like you said, now she's gonna have access to him going forward. And you got to remember the team was like 3 and whatever last year. So it's like 14, I get where she's coming from. It was very well crafted.
Yeah, it was perfect. So good on her. God bless Lynn. Keep doing your boo-boo in Jacksonville. Keep up the good work. Real quick, college basketball. Seton Hall no longer in the top 25 after losing to Butler, and then losing to UConn, and then losing to St. John's. They're not good. They're not good. I was feeling them for about 2 weeks after they start winning. They beat Marquette. Marquette's had a bad year. They beat Creighton. I'm like, okay. They had St. John's down by 12, and they blew the lead and lost St. John's. So Seton Hall might be an NIT, but they did win a couple years ago. So hang the NIT banner, Prudential guys. That's where you're probably headed.
Listen, they might surprise you in the Big East tournament. We'll see.
You know who really fell off? St. John's.
I mean, it's Pitino, man. Pitino's good for that 1 year when he comes in hot. After that, it's like, holy shit, I'm in over my head.
So the 14-5. I won't put that out there. They're 14-5. So they're not like terrible. They're ranked 20, I think 24, 25. They were ranked 3 to start the season.
Right?
They were like national championship favorites to win, and I think Zuby Ojapor is not playing great. They had guard problems, so I think that was going to be an issue going into the season. But once again, this goes back to you have 11 new players on a team. You cannot get 11 new guys playing together as a unit at least for a year, and then next year probably more turnover. Mm-hmm. So I think Pitino's all about the transfer and knows how to run it. But this idea of we can just bring in brand new teams every single year, it doesn't work.
Yeah, I don't think it's going to work unless you bring in guys who who complement each other. And I don't think these, you don't know that. You don't know that going in. And I still think St. John's could still have a lot to say later on come tournament time. But I think their room for their runway is going to always be short because it's going to take them time to gel. And I think that's what happens when you bring in so many core guys like that. Like,
so right now, and I do this every week. I don't know why I do this to bracketology because it's too early to even think about brackets, but we have to. Last team in Texas, first team out, Virginia Tech. Right now, I think our last show 2 weeks ago, Seton Hall was in the West, and they were like an 8 seed. They're down to a 10 seed, still in the West.
Okay.
So they're still considered in, but at a 10 seed, that becomes, last 4 out situation right there.
Right.
St. John's is find St. John's. They are. Wait, they got to be on here. Ain't no way. Oh, there you go. They're in the East playing in Philadelphia based on Joe Lunardi. So, and they're at a 6 seed. So they would play probably that 6-6 game, those first 4 games, or whatever case, they'll probably be in that. But how do you feel overall about the Big East? Because Marquette's fell off. You have UConn, you got St. John's, and then you kind of have Seton Hall kind of teetering, Marquette's teetering, Creighton's kind of up and down. Butler has been good since I think Brad Stevens left. Like, are they that team that we thought they would be, where you could put them up there with the Big Ten, the SEC, maybe even better than the ACC?
No, I'm afraid not. I just think it's down here for the Big East. And how much we said 4 teams we're probably going to get in?
I think it's 4, right?
Yeah.
Right now, I'm going to bring up their records because I'm curious about that 4 now, because I'm not sure about the 4. I think
only 3. Oh shit.
UConn is the order of conference right now. UConn, St. John's, Villanova, Creighton, Seton Hall, Butler, DePaul. DePaul, who 11-8, 3-5 in conference. They're tough, like crazy tough. Xavier, Providence, Marquette. Marquette fell off tremendously, and Ed Cooley can't get Georgetown right. It's weird.
Nobody can.
It's weird because I thought he'd come from Providence. I'm like, oh, great hire. He just can't get it together down there. I thought this would be like a 2-year project to be good now, and it ain't working. UConn, St. John's, Villanova, I think are your locks. I think Villanova's 15-4. Kevin Willard, who deserted Seton Hall, you suck. That's your 3. I think everybody else becomes a bubble. Creighton, Seton Hall, maybe Butler if they go on a run, but they have a losing record in the conference. So we said 4 2 weeks ago. I think we're down to 3.
Oh man, it's going to be a couple of it. Well, you know what? Now's the time we all have time to watch basketball. So we'll see how it pans out. But I still have hope there's going to be 4 teams in Big East.
I'm glad you do, because I don't. I have none.
Especially with the ACC having a down year, I think it helps.
Yeah, I think the ACC having a down year is going to probably bring them up. But
we're not going to unload the entire Big Ten or SEC in, so we have to still have some room for the Big East.
So I want to check out real quick because I'm always curious. Thursday night is like that late night college basketball game that I watch, and I want to see what's on tonight so we can tell the people what to watch tonight. Actually nothing. I think Gonzaga played last night, so there's not Thursday night tonight. Okay. All right, tonight's game you got to watch, everybody. Tennessee State, SIU, Edwardsville, 9 p.m. Check that out, ESPNU. That's what we're going to watch tonight. Or you can stay up till 12 midnight and watch Cal State Bakersfield at Hawaii on ESPN+, which no one's going to watch, probably.
I mean, I have the bundle thanks to WWE, so I might take a look at it.
Wait, I got that for free.
Oh yeah,
Fios. I got the Fios package for cable, and they're like, "Well, you get ESPN for free." I'm like, "Wait, what? I don't pay $30, so I don't pay for shit for ESPN." Nice. I'm not watching the Rumble because Saudi Arabia shows. I boycott those. So, which I'm teetering on because it's the Rumble.
And potentially AJ Styles' last match.
Yeah, I feel like I have to watch it because it's the Rumble, but I'm also like, it's a Saudi Arabia show. I don't watch those shows because I just don't want to contribute to the blood money.
Well, technically you're not because you're not paying for it.
I'm contributing with my eyes. My eyes is contributing to the blood money and the sawing of American journalists.
And shout out Netflix for picking up all their WWE library because I went on Peacock. There's nothing on Peacock.
I know. I didn't use the network a whole. Well, the network I used a lot because when it first came out, I got day one, and I was up for days just watching shit. When it got on Peacock, I was at that stage where I was like, I'll put on his background noise as I'm like writing an article or doing work. Mm-hmm. So I'll have like Heat Wave 97 on in the background. So it's on, but I'm not really watching it. Oddly enough, I miss not having that right now. It's weird.
Well, I have it with Netflix because I'll throw in Bill Simmons and it's in the background now at midnight.
I forgot Bill Simmons. I got rid of Spotify, so I don't have Bill Simmons on Spotify anymore because of apparently they donate to ICE Spotify. Apparently, my wife told me so. Because my wife told me I'm obligated to get rid of it now. Damn. Just like we don't shop at Target no more.
Target, what's that? Oh my goodness.
No Target, no Spotify. Chick-fil-A was my bridge too far. I'm like, I know where they stand on things, but damn, that chicken's good. I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
A known fact: there's only 2 Chick-fil-A's open on late Saturday night into Sunday morning. Penn Station and Vegas.
Wait, there's one in Penn Station?
There's one in Penn Station now.
Where?
It's on not Montague Train Hall, but literally closer to the Garden when they renovated everything. There's a Raising Cane. There's a Chick-fil-A. I saw
the Raising Canes.
So Chick-fil-A is like a couple more doors down.
Oh, okay.
And they stay open until like 2 a.m. on a Sunday.
I thought it was inside Penn Station because I know I saw a Cinnabon there. I was like, is that a Cinnabon? Holy shit, they got Cinnabon down here.
Mm-hmm.
And not a lot of hobos down there no more. It's crazy. They got rid of all the hobos. You see like a couple like sprinkled, but they're like hiding in the corner.
Nope, they cleaned it up.
So, I mean, they kind of need to knock it down at this point. Let's be honest. Penn Station's a shithole. For those of you who live in New York, New Jersey, Connecticut, you know what we're talking about. New York Penn Station. If you ever visited New York City, you know what Penn Station is. Hopefully,
or you smelled it.
Hopefully, you don't know what Port Authority is because that's the one you don't want to go to. And they tried for years to fix Port Authority. Probably never going to do it. It's going to be what it is. Port Authority is a dump. Jay, as always, great show, man.
Likewise.
So next Thursday, we'll be back. Seriously, we'll be back next Thursday. I forgot my daughter's birthday was last Thursday, so we had to cancel our show last minute.
Oh, happy belated birthday.
Yep, 6 years old. She was an asshole the whole day. Arm sharing every Wednesday before us on Wednesdays. Also, this Sunday, new episode, Live Free and Laugh Hard, premieres 10 a.m. on Sunday, where we're going to discuss Amy Schumer and Chelsea Handler, which is going to be a rough episode because we both dislike both of them. But this leads up to our big episode in like about a month where we're going to do a whole Richard Pryor perspective. So this episode is going to be about Chelsea Handler and Amy Schumer. Next episode, the rise and fall of redneck comedy. That's what we're going to do next episode. And then
I can't miss
Richard Pryor, probably 2 hours, because you talk about Richard Pryor, you won't end in an hour. It'll probably go on forever and ever. So that's what we got going. A lot of big things happening here. But in the meantime, for Jason, I'm Kahlil. Thanks so much for watching. We will see you next Thursday here on the Box Out.
Peace.
This has been The Box Out with Kahlil Thomas and Jason Kortner. Subscribe now for the best tri-state area basketball talk.